All right, so it's Sunday. Now, I thought about recording these the same way that I normally do, that I do one every day and yada yada, but then I got thinking about it. And with 5 days off, this thing would have piled up like crazy. So I figured this would be easier. Look, guys, I came home and did a lot of nothing. Then I had Thursday off. I had a pretty decent stream. Got some things set up, started the Star Wars stuff, cleaned up a bit, things like that. And then that night I had I'm trying to remember, because Thursday I had a birthday thing, and then like out to eat thing, and then Friday I get up and I get all my stuff together and everything, and I had like a huge stream. My wife went to see her mom and do some family stuff, and I got on there. Like this was, me and her went out to eat, then I came home, then she went off to do her thing, and I got on the computer and I did a 6-hour Star Wars stream. Like way, way bigger than I ever anticipated. And during the stream, I got questions, so I talked about my old time when I would spar down at the park, like the group I found and everything like that. And I got to talk about, like, they asked me about my old Jedi robe, which I still have. I still have the fabric stuff for the tunic, but the tunic was never made exceptionally well to begin with. The robe is decent, but it's a heavy burlap material. It was designed specifically not for looks, but actual function. So it's a burlap material that I can wear in the rain and snow and things like that, because sometimes for effect, because this group every now and then would record their like lightsaber duels. So there was a type of pavilion thing where they could set up the camera, and then two people, if they wanted to, if it was going to look really cool, they could turn the lightsabers on, they could go out, and they could stand out in the rain a little bit. Like, not if it was horrible or nothing, but that's one of the reasons I would wear that thing, is I would put it on, and then I could stand out there and I could fight those guys. And that was pretty cool. It was dramatic and everything, but it was, hey, you seize moments to make your own cool things out of life. And that little thing when it would rain, like on a spring day, and it would rain, and it was kind of crappy out to like be outside, but it was cool to have your little own moment. Now, I wish that my laptop had survived. I had a Gateway back then, this old Gateway laptop, but I'm not shitting on the Gateway laptop. It was actually a really good laptop. In fact, it ran Reploid Productions for a very long time. It was the primary editing computer and everything for all of that. And it even survived one night when I was exceptionally tired. I went outside and I put it on top of the truck. I don't even remember. This was crazy. I put it on top of the truck, loaded the kids up, got my stuff together, got in the truck, turned the truck on, started driving. Well, as I was going on the exit to move towards, at the time I was living down in Chillicothe, I turned, and the laptop flew off the top of the truck and hit the street. Bam! And it should have been done for. I stopped and I went back and I picked it up, and the side paneling was like cracked on one side, and the other part it blown off. That laptop still worked. It was literally still perfect for a long time. But that's where I kept a couple of those videos that they shot. And I also had some of the old backyard wrestling footage and whatnot from the guys back then. I don't know what has survived. I know my Saber Battle stuff has not survived, because I was the only one that had the footage. And I lost a lot of episode stuff too. Like we had like an old Back to the Future 2 review that we did, because we did a Back to the Future 1 talk, and there was a Back to the Future 2 talk that we did that is lost to time because it was on that laptop. It was a couple years in, and the thing just kind of flatlined on us. And I remember tried to recover what we could, took it to Jeremy, and Jeremy worked on it for a little while, and he got the hard drive to basically be an external, and then we were able to hook it up and we pulled some material off of it. But for the most part, a lot of it had corrupted, and it was just dead. So Friday, did all that stuff, and then went out to dinner. And then Saturday, of course, we did the show. So we did the show, and we made some people a little bit mad, but there was a reason that it happened. See, there's a drive that comes back and forth to the houses. There's one computer that downloads all material, and that's over at Scott's house. And then he puts material onto a drive, and then he brings it over here, and then we slowly knock that drive out. Well, when he came over, it was the same drive that we had prepped before break. So there's like the Wonder Woman stuff on there, and there was like a bunch of oddities, like some guys from 1972 and whatnot, and like Mirror Man and stuff like that. Which, some of that stuff was fine, and then we had like an Avengers folder and whatnot, and the thing that we had primarily set out to do this weekend was we were supposed to, keep reviewing the villains. Well, the drive was not prepped for villains. So we made the best of it. We did all those random guys, and that was a pretty fun episode, to be fair. And then we left the random guys, and we came back and we did basically Captain America, because we were supposed to do Avengers, but that was a big folder. We did like a half an hour episode. The only thing we did was make it through Captain America. See, our show is a podcast, and people get mad on the visual end sometimes. They get anxious. They're like, move on, next picture, go rate something else. And they're very pushy to move forward. But the truth of the matter is that show is not designed to move quickly. It's designed to trap us into conversations, to have fun, to make jokes, and to like enjoy ourselves. And then the podcast is worth listening to. If we were just like 5, 4, guys 3, nice belt, 2, that guy's 0, he sucks. Like that's a boring show. You have to build substance. You have to make every single episode house some sort of conversation or argument or dilemma or interest that makes that episode worth hearing, not just look at that guy's belt. Ha 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 ha. Stupid belt. He has a Gundam emblem. 3, let's move on. Like, that's a boring ass episode. So people get anxious, and you just kind of have to tell them, like on the chat, like, we ain't moving on. Like, we're talking about this. And we got on Captain America for like an hour and a half, and there was a lot to talk about like practicality, things that worked, things that didn't work, yada yada. So like, we do that entire episode, and then I went to see my grandmother and my mother, and we did, a couple of the guys came with us too. We went to Olive Garden, and then from Olive Garden, I went out to Best Buy. Anybody that knows my history with Best Buy knows my dad has some kind of sense of humor to have got me a Best Buy card. I did find something worth finding when I went out there. I got all 3 John Wick movies in 4K. I'm okay with that. Got the new Spider-Man in 4K. I'm okay with that. And I discovered something that I almost wish I hadn't discovered. I found every Star Wars movie has just made the jump to 4K. And that's $30 a movie. I don't have that money right now. I mean, shit. Just for the thing that caught my attention, the thing I wanted right off the bat was A New Hope, Empire, and Jedi. And those 3 movies alone would have been over $90, because it's $29.99, of course, plus tax. That's, right there, we're looking at $90 plus tax. We're looking at nearly $100, 3 movies. Like, it's pretty hardcore. For me, that's pretty hardcore. And look, if I'm buying them one at a time, if I'm like, hey, that's $24, and I buy that one movie and I know I'm going to watch it like 3-4 times, that's not a big deal, really. I can cope with that. But like, to try to get all of those right then, that would have been a hit. I need to figure out which ones I'm going to replace into 4K. That's going to be important because I have to make sure that I don't lose something in the transfer, because that happens, and that's very heartbreaking when something like that happens. If you're the kind of guy like me that likes all the behind the scenes stuff and the extra features and whatnot, and you like to see all this cool stuff and learn things about the movie and whatnot, well, you go and you get the 4K, which is strange because it's a way bigger disc and it has way better definition, has way more space, and for some reason that I can never find out, for some strange reason, there's no special features on those discs. They'll include a Blu-ray of the movie, and there'll be special features on that disc. But that's a kicker, because sometimes in these Blu-ray boxes, the cases, there'll be the Blu-ray disc which has the movie. Then there'll be another Blu-ray that has all the special features. And so then when you buy the 4K, you'll get a Blu-ray that has some of the special features, but not all of them that came on the last one. And that's a weird thing for me that they do that. And it forces me to keep a lot of discs that, quite frankly, I'm not going to use at that point, because I don't want to throw the other Blu-ray away because I'll lose certain special features and interviews that I want. Like in the Star Wars, not Star Wars, but like in my Star Trek stuff, there are certain interviews that only appear on certain discs. And then you're screwed if you get rid of it. You don't have it anymore. So it can be nerve-wracking, and I don't know exactly at what pace I'm going to buy those, but I found them, and I kind of do want them. And then here we are, Sunday, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm waking up, getting myself put together, and I know that later tonight I'll eat fish. That's as far as my planning goes, as I've already got fish in the fridge. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a stream. I don't know if it'll be at like 6 hours is a big stream. Maybe I'll do a stream. Maybe I'll do some hanging out. Maybe I'll do one of those. Like, Sunday is going to be important. It's going to be like my Saturday enjoyment day. I have to enjoy this day pretty substantially. Monday, I wake up, I get my stuff together, I prep some things, I go get my kid, and then we go to my mom's because she wants to eat like lasagna. So yeah, like, and I know how that day is going to go. It's going to go very much like wake up, get my stuff together, maybe play a game for like an hour. Kid will be off school. I mean, it doesn't seem like that, but it really does kick in that way. You figure you wake up, it's like 9 o'clock, you get your stuff together, it's like 10:30. You go downstairs, you eat, and it's about 11:30. You start playing your game, or you watch a show, or you do something like that. And then, like I said, 2 hours, and then you got to make your trip, because like Gwen is 45 minutes away from me, basically. So I make that trip, and then I pick her up from the bus, and then we drive all the way out to my mom's, and then we hang out there for about an hour, and she makes food, and then we eat, and then I drive her all the way home, then I drive all the way back here, and then that's it. It's like 9:30 at night. Like that day, Monday, it's going to go fast. It's not going to seem like it necessarily. I mean, it's going to be like any other day. It's going to have plenty of time that I could have or should have or would have done something. But I'm not. I know that. I can feel it, that this is my day, that I have to make whatever it is I want to do happen. So, yeah, this is going to be my day to hang out, to have fun or whatever, because after that, it's going to be going back to work time. I know that. I feel it. So maybe I'll do another update here at the end of the day, or maybe at the middle of the day, or who knows. We'll see. We'll see where this day takes me. And then, of course, there'll be an update tomorrow before the video gets edited and whatnot. That's what's going on. Okay, so here we are at we're ending another days off. And yes, this probably should have been a huge days off, but I did a lot of thinking in terms of this days off. I need to set like need to set an exercise schedule, a little bit of a practice schedule, things like that. I need to get some things really sorted out in terms of my New Year's, and I need to get a lot of my food ideas underway. Like, we've been doing better. We've been, like I said, we're down to 1 red meat item per week. We are concentrating on fishes and pastas and chicken and things of that nature, trying to really create more of a diversity in how we eat and what we do. And I'm trying to get a more physical schedule put together where I'm going to make it a thing that every single day after work, I come home, I set up the garage, and hey Lexi, and then I'll hit the bag and things like that. I want to really get that kind of in my mindset to keep with that. And then I start wanting to practice with the lightsaber. I want to teach myself a couple of those fancy twirls and things like that, just to say that I've done it. But today, a couple of things did happen that are worth putting at the end of the days off. For one, this happened. There's not going to be too much more buying for a while. So this will, of course, go into the next collection video so that I can, of course, add this to the shelf because I love the Easy 8. And today I was just going to walk right by this. I seen it. But lately I've had a decent enough mindset to say, what will I really get out of that? And I seen it. I love it. I wanted it. I knew I did. But I also knew that I had set myself on a $50 limit, and I had a bit of an ulterior motive. I had bought a Valentine's Day that I wasn't supposed to buy for my wife because she was like, no, we're not going to worry about that this year because blah, blah, blah. So I snuck off when she wasn't paying attention and I bought it anyway. But shortly after doing that, I knew that I only had so much money. And as soon as we got to the store, because I was just trying to like find something to do. We went out and ate at like 9 in the morning, and then I didn't want to go straight home, so we went out to Mega Replay and we looked around. And I got an idea at Mega Replay. They're selling these metal pictures in frames, not just like the metal pictures that hang up, but metal pictures in frames. And I got this idea that for this room, that's too perfect. They're small, decently. They're relatively like this, and they're all very eye-catching, and they all cover different fandoms, and I've been fighting with myself about what to hang up, because all this shit is coming down. All of it's coming down. And then what am I going to hang up? What's going to take its place? And the more I've argued with myself, it's been tough to figure out exactly what's going up in its place, because say I put like a big picture right there. Well, that's one big giant picture, and that's the fandom right there. Is that one big picture that represents a fandom? And you know me, I'm not like that. I like the Power Rangers stuff. The two biggest things are Star Wars and Star Trek, but I like Bruce Lee, and I like Spider-Man, I like Marvel Comics, I like DC Comics, I like superheroes in general, I like Power Rangers, I like Pokemon, I like video games, I like so much shit, and these metal posters, they're not that big. They're decent size, but they're not oversized, and it hit me today, that's perfect. That's perfect, because what I can do is I can literally start at the very top of the wall and hang them going across and down and across and down and across and down all the way to the floor if I wanted. And if I do it right and they're solid enough, awesome. Like this room would be really cool, and it would almost be as if it was wallpapered if I'm really careful about the layout. And it would take a very long time. This is just like the lights, just like every other step, just like putting everything back on the shelf. It's one thing at a time, one item at a time, and it would be really cool. I saw Super Mario 3 things that I liked, and I saw original Nintendo things that I liked. I saw some Star Wars stuff that I liked. I've seen a cool Star Trek picture that I liked. Like those Pokemon pictures and video game pictures, and all of these make perfect sense to me that they're selling at Mega. and I think they're sold at a lot of different websites. They're only about $10 a piece, so when I have the money here and there, I'm probably going to get them. But since I'm in a money-saving mode, and I have to keep that mentality, I can't lose that. It is another personal goal of mine to guarantee that I have a pillow, a nest egg of sorts, that I slowly but surely need to build up my credit account to where if something should go down, because something always goes down, sadly, it's a fact of life, I need there to be something that I can fall back on. It's all just part of really understanding what I have and prepping for the ideas of maintaining what I have and still expanding on things and making things the way that I want them to be. And time and money and doing it right and not just rushing to get things up on the walls and everything. This idea makes a lot of sense to me. I think it will really work out really well. It would also make it easy for certain people, because some people have trouble being like, what are we supposed to get that guy? He's already got everything. Well, this would expand that possibility quite a bit. That if people say, what are you looking for? I'm looking for metal pictures. That's what I'm looking for. If it's cool, if it fits one of my criteria, if it's a metal picture or a painting canvas thing or something, because there's one other thing that's going to go up in here. The same person that did my wedding picture, that right there, the same person that did that wedding gift, I'm going to be talking to, and I'm not sure how big of a canvas I'm talking about right now. I guess it depends on price and everything like that. I'm going to be talking to her. The only reason I'm not plugging her stuff directly right now is I have to talk to her about whether or not she wants me to do such a thing, because my style, especially with the things I do and the way I talk and the things I get into and whatnot, hey, sometimes you don't want to be associated with the guy that says fuck 200 words a minute or whatever, and then that's fine. Maybe she doesn't. But right now, that person, I'm going to talk to her about doing Courage the Cowardly Dog stuff. And the first one I want is Freaky Fred from the Naughty episode, the Freaky Barber episode. I want him because it's so bizarre and unique that people coming in here will see it and be like, what is that? Because if you don't know, like Courage the Cowardly Dog had crazy stuff going on. So I would also be interested in like getting a Club Cats and whatnot, and just some of those ideas really intrigue the crap out of me, and I would like to get them maybe to match the same decor as those metal pictures, getting them the same sizes. So that's, I think, what I'm going to end up doing, and I can put them all the way down that wall and all the way up and across here and over there and behind me, and it's a good idea. I think it really is. I think it's a good idea. It's a solid idea. But the reason I didn't pick him up, the reason I was going to pass him by, was because I'd already kind of decided that as soon as I walked into the store, because we were in the mall, and then it hit me, I was like, I want to go to the bookstore. Why do I want to go to the bookstore? There is a reason. I got to looking, and I have like 40 Star Trek novels. I'm cutting through them a little bit at a time, reading them here and there, and I'm going back into doing a lot more reading, trying to kind of focus myself and like when I find the time in between breaks and things like that, really kind of dive more into that and kind of relax myself a little more than I have been in the previous year. And as I'm doing that, I right now am very interested in expanding some of my Star Wars stuff, because I have a huge, and I mean, I guess it's not overly ridiculously huge, but I have a lot of Star Trek stuff. I have ships and figures and books and all kinds of stuff. And I will be honest, Star Trek is a bigger thing for me than Star Wars, but they are the two biggest fandoms of my life. And I have like 40-something Star Trek novels and like 2 Star Wars books, which one is the original Star Wars novelization the first 3 books in a single volume, hardbound, really nice, silver-lined pages. It's a very nice volume, I'll admit that. But the other thing that I have is a visual novel, not a visual novel like a comic book, but like a visual dictionary for the Phantom Menace. And then a visual encyclopedia, I guess what you call it. And then the third thing I have is a book called Path of the Jedi, which is really intriguing, a really, really cool book. But that's all. That's all I have. So it hit me, I need some I need to expand my books a little bit. So I got in there and I knew instantly I wasn't going to spend money. Saw that and said, I'm going to walk away from that. So I did, looked at stuff, still decided I was going to have some fun. Tried to find the 5th season of Clone Wars, which I'm going to have to buy that online. I can't find it. And after I did that, of course, she, trying to be sneaky, snuck over in the corner and bought him anyway. And that's fine. It's very much fine that she did, because this is one of those things that, like, right now in the mindset I'm in, I'm very quick to walk away from things, even if I want them and even if I know that they're probably not going to show back up later. And this is one of those things. I would not have bought it. I just walked away from it, and I would have bit myself for doing it later on, but that's the way it is. The other 2 from this set are Wing Zero, and that's Wing Zero EW, and Strike Gundam. Strike Gundam is okay, but I don't necessarily, I will not be going out of my way for it. If I come across it, if I have the money, if there's nothing else there, maybe. But I thought this was cool. The Wing Gundam Zero EW, that's one from this set that I would like, and I would also like the Tolgeese from the other set. So there's a couple of things right there that I want. But the EZ-8, that's easily part of one of my all-time favorite animes. Not just Gundam, all-time favorite anime. The MS-08 team is easily in my top 10 animes of all time in terms of animes that I 100% guarantee you should see. They're my favorite. But since I knew I wasn't spending money, I knew where my money was going. I was going to go spend $10 a piece and get books, and that's what I decided. So this is the first one I got. The reason I got this is because I'm really, truly, amazingly interested in material that expands my understanding of Qui-Gon Jinn. He is my favorite Jedi. And even though this is expanded, and you've heard my views on expanded material, I'm not going to treat this as the, quote, Bible. It is not the end-all, be-all word of God in the Star Wars universe. But it will be interesting material, and if it expands my knowledge or even my headcanon of said material, then I'm into it. I got picked up this. This is going to be pretty cool. This is Star Wars, The Wrath of Darth Maul. And this book, just the cover of this looks astonishing. The inside is this blood red. It's really it's eye catching right off the bat. The words are pretty big, so I don't imagine that this is like a hardcore read. It's not like I'm diving into not like I'm diving in. It's like 211 pages. I'm not going to be diving into like a huge narrative here or something like that. It's not Lord of the Rings or some shit like that, so it's manageable, which is important to me because I don't have my entire life to spend on a single book. And lastly, I've heard a lot about this, so I hunted it down. I've already seen that there's an Empire Strikes Back of this, and I imagine there's a Jedi on the way. This is a collection of 40 different short stories, all by different authors, covering the original movie, A New Hope, but it's covered in 40 different scenes taken from the original Star Wars from supporting cast from a certain point of view. And that's going to be interesting because it allows me to see the Star Wars universe from a certain point of view. Like, that's interesting to me because the same things that we see, and I've warned people about this millions of times, I've said careful about things like hero worship. You get to this point where like you like a thing and you justify the things that a guy does or something like that. You get to this point where that's your favorite character, or your favorite thing, or your hero, or however you feel about it, and you wanna bend the truth to fit the narrative that you see. Well, that's interesting because it'll be neat to see how other people viewed the events that were taking place. And that is the thing I'm most looking forward to with that book. And also the fact that it's 40 different short stories. That means I can like knock out a story and then sit back and reflect on it, and knock out a story and sit back and reflect on it, and knock out a story and sit back and reflect on it. And maybe depending on how it goes, this is absolutely no promise, but maybe depending on how it goes, maybe I can come in and talk about the stories and literally reference and get some Star Wars material on the channel here and there. That was the days off. We're done here. We've talked about enough shit. And I've got an idea this vacation. This was a big vacation, but it was time to sit back. I played some Star Wars game. I enjoyed my time. I had my days off. I relaxed. I drank a lot of water and still became dehydrated. I don't know what the fuck that's about. I really don't. That's I think it's my diet. I think I'm doing way too much salt and whatnot. And I think I'm focusing a little too much. I've noticed I do a lot of breads, something that I need to cut down on quite a bit. Like even tonight was like we had lasagna, which is good and fine, but then like I'm a bit of a putz for bread. I'm noticing that I'm starting to replace that in other things that I'm doing. So like I fix one part of my diet, and then today I had like three breadsticks and 2 bread knots, along with, you know, the one serving of lasagna. But like I just kept going back up, and I was like, there's still bread out here. And then like last night I went through like 4 breadsticks, and so I'm noticing I'm prone to eat a lot of toast and bread, and like I don't know, it's probably not a great idea. And then, of course, I have been doing a lot more salt than I'm accustomed to. I've noticed that. I don't know why. I don't know if there's something to that. But I've noticed that I'm putting salt on a lot of things that I didn't originally do. And I'm probably just picking my diet. I need to pick and choose my battles here. If I'm going to do better, I'm going to do better. And I need to kind of really work on portions and laying my stuff out and eating more. Like I need to accumulate vegetables and things that keep me hydrated. More things that actually have water. So it's probably what I'm going to do. But this is all part of it. This is all part of adapting and learning and moving forward and changing my ways and kind of reverting back to a younger, healthier lifestyle, which is bizarre, because you'd think that usually it's the younger that get the chance to eat all the hamburgers and do all the stupid because they can, like, it doesn't bother them. But like, weirdly enough, I had a much better and put together health plan when I was younger. Like, as I got older, I really fell into sodas and things like that, which is something that I've really been working on cutting out. So now, like, the only time I'm having soda, we have no soda in the house. That's a goal that I hope to continue maintaining the best I can. I've been having soda only if we go out to eat, and we don't go out to eat nearly the way we used to because we're trying to focus and eat fish and things here. It is what it is. I have a lot to think about. And that's partly what these days off videos are, is it's time to reflect, and it's time to think, and it's time to really work this year into progressing into being better in everything that I do. Like addressing the channel, like actually continuing content and having fun with it and being passionate about the things I do, and having the hangout streams and talking to people and giving opinions and having the actual lights that are going up in here, and just maintaining a type of work ethic that will then follow from my hobbies into other things. Look, we all do it. We all start the new year and we all try to act like we're going to change, or this is our year, or this is that. I have to make a legitimate attempt to move forward and do something productive and different this year than in years before, that hopefully then follow and become a pattern and continue on. Like maybe, and this is ridiculous, but being on camera has allowed me to, because I'm on camera a lot now, not just doing voice. I'm on camera a lot now. So I'll start paying attention to things like, I don't know, shaving more than once a week. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but it's such a stupid little thing that it's a discipline thing. It's a willpower thing. It's a state of mind thing. You get to this point where you're just like, whatever. And you don't think about it for like a week, and then it grows, or you just go, I'm just gonna have a whole beard so I never have to mess with. That's not me. That's not me. I know that's not me. I know I have more discipline than that. I know I can do better than that. So I need to. And keeping this kind of visual contact and this kind of work ethic and this kind of continual keeping myself in the mindset that this is the year to develop, to do better, to create, to move forward. If I keep that mindset, I'll keep doing it. That is way more than I meant to put on the days off. But I said this one was going to be long because I had 5 days, and even though I didn't do 5 clips, this right here is a 22-minute clip, and the other one was like a 14-minute clip, so we still hit like nearly 40 minutes. So we're going to kill this now. This is over. We've done enough for a days off segment, so get back to work. I have spoken. Take what you will from it.